Hello and welcome back to the Daily Calm with Pastor Tom. You know, a few days ago, or was it a week or 2 weeks? I have no idea what day it is. Maybe you feel the same way. Anyway, not long ago, I used Tim Keller's illustration of the little kid in the car who had a little toy steering wheel on the passenger side. And the kid eventually starts to think that he or she is in control, only to realize how little control they had that all along. Now that analogy breaks down, and I got a good question on that. Somebody asked, well, how do we know what's in God's control and what we're supposed to control? I mean, are we supposed to do nothing? Are we just supposed to assume that, hey, you know, whatever happens, happens? No, not at all. In fact, there was a school of thought in theology called Quietism. And this is wrong. Quietism is sort of that que sera, sera. Quietism is a passive resignation to whatever happens. That's the case. This is sort of the opposite of activism or moralism, right? Where by human effort and action, we are to change things. Quietism says, no. We're simply to learn to live with whatever is. That's not what the Bible teaches. The book of James, for example, says that, look, if you see somebody in need and you say to them, oh, be warm, be well fed, but you don't do anything about their need, what good is that? That's faith without works. And so I imagine here James saying that quietism is no good. There are some things you can control, some things within your domain of power. What the Bible, what this illustration is trying to show with the steering wheel, I think, is the pride of that child, to assume that he or she is in control. Nowhere is this better illustrated than in the 4th chapter of James, where James takes issues with these international business people who create this big business plan. Listen to what he says, James 4:13. Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money. He says, why? You don't even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You're a mist, you're a vapor, here today, gone tomorrow. Now, is James against planning? Is he against having a business plan? Is he against conducting business internationally? No. What he's against is doing all those things with no reference to God. He says, he doesn't say you shouldn't do any of those things. He said you should say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you're boasting and you're bragging. What he's against is not the action. He's not suggesting quietism. He's not against the action. He's against the attitude. He's against an attitude that doesn't have at the back of its mind, the attitude and the motivation for Christians should always be humility. That in the back of our minds, we're going to control those things and do those good deeds that are within our domain of power. But in the back of our minds, and sometimes we even say out loud, all of this is if the Lord wills. All of this is subject to His will. Why? Well, because in this example, today or tomorrow we'll go to such and such city. Really? Today or tomorrow? As if you can always count on travel plans? We'll go to this or that city. Really? You can't guarantee that borders won't close? We'll spend a year there. You can't say that. You don't know. You're not promised that you'll even live another year. We'll carry on business and make money. How can you guarantee that your business will be profitable? You can't. You're doing all these things out of an attitude of pride, and that's what James is against. So I hope that's helpful in thinking about intercessory prayer and what is our part, what is God's part. No, do those good deeds that are within your domain of power. But as you do them, always from a posture of humility that recognizes if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that.